We talk an awful lot about the stereotypes of specific reptiles, but what about the stereotypes of reptile keepers themselves? This is what your reptile says about you. Obviously, this video, take it with a grain of salt. It's mostly jokes, but I mean, like, there's always some truth in stereotypes, right? Let's start off with chameleons. If you are a chameleon owner, you love heartbreak. You love being the financial supporter of veterinarians and vet techs all over your area. Owning a chameleon says to everybody around you, there's an easier way to do this, but I don't like doing things the easy way. Chameleon owners are as good at making decisions about what reptile to keep as Taylor Swift is at picking a boyfriend. Owning a ball python is like owning a bulldog. Everybody sees that you have a pet, but if you told them that it wasn't a real pet, but a 3D print instead, nobody would be shocked. Bulldogs and ball pythons both don't move unless they have to poop or eat, and neither one is going to be very impressive to your friends. If you're looking for a way to describe your ball python to somebody who doesn't know what a ball python is, just use a clip from The Office of Kevin describing his rescue dog. Everyone will think you're talking about an expired snake, but when you get home, you'll still enjoy hanging out with your little buddy. If you own a bearded dragon, you found out rather quickly that there's no such thing in life as a free lunch or a free pet. You probably got your bearded dragon off of a Craigslist ad or maybe from your friend for free, expected a cheap companion to show off on your Instagram, only to find out nobody cares that you own a spiky potato and you need a second job to support his insect habit. Also, why is UVB lighting so expensive and need to be changed so regularly? Also, some guy on YouTube told you that you had to feed them salad, so you do, but it turns out that your bearded dragon only likes to use his greens as a toilet and you're not sure if he's trolling you, in the same way the senior mechanic tells the apprentice that he has to go to the store for blinker fluid. Emerald tree skinks. You're a hipster who wanted a cool pet before it was cool, but you missed the boat by about half a decade. You probably call things stinkin' rad, non-ironically. You could have had a Schneider skink for half the price and twice the joy, but the guy in the tie told you otherwise and you made a bad decision based on a dude who's got an obsession with dinosaurs at 40 years old. I don't actually know how old Clint is. He's probably not 40, I'm probably just projecting. We all know that Clint's Reptiles is a shill for big emerald tree skink. We all know this, right? You own a Savannah monitor, I assume you were not hugged enough as a child. Savannah monitors are like the cats of the lizard world. They do not love you, they aren't even indifferent, they're actually plotting how they're gonna consume your entire body if you expire alone in your house. You could have had an Ackie monitor, but oh no, you wanted to give up more of your home to a lizard that costs you 12 bucks and a bag of chicken hearts that's also never woken up on the right side of the bed. Maybe Savannah monitors aren't like they get a bad rap and stuff, but also like the Ackies exist. Axolotls are for people who love anime but can't tell their friends because they know they're gonna be mocked incessantly. So instead, they show their friends a picture of their pet axolotl. Axolotls aren't even real. I'm convinced these are just Pokemon that are masquerading as animals that actually live on Earth. They have big, silly gills. They don't make any sense. They make no noise, even though their mouth always looks like they're screaming. Nobody can keep an axolotl because they need water that is colder than the heart of a Savannah monitor. Axolotls also have a weirdly high-protein diet, considering their body shape, just like me, and that's easy thanks to today's sponsor, Magic Spoon. High protein, no sugar, and 4 grams of net carbs. Count me in. This is actually a pretty good way to start your day, especially if you're nostalgic for cereal, the way that you used to do it when you were a kid. Plus, the flavors are awesome. Fruity, cocoa, peanut butter, cinnamon roll, birthday cake, so many more. Plus, maple waffle because of Canada. This stuff actually tastes like the cereal you remember. When you think of no sugar cereal, you think of like chalky, soggy, but you wouldn't be able to tell the difference. It's crunchy, the flavor is good, and you don't have to feel guilty about eating it. Plus, every serving of Magic Spoon has 13 to 14 grams of protein, 0 grams of sugar, and 4 or 5 grams of net carbs. So you can feel good while it tastes good too. Plus, you don't even need milk with it. I literally eat handfuls of it when I'm out hiking around. So use my code Wickens or click the link in the description to try Magic Spoon cereal today and get $5 off. You can also find Magic Spoon on Amazon or in your nearest grocery store. And Magic Spoon is so confident in their product, they offer a 100% money-back guarantee online. So if you don't like Magic Spoon for any reason, they'll refund your money no questions asked. So click the link in the description or go to magicspoon/Wickens to get $5 off Magic Spoon today. If you own a leopard gecko, you love the idea of keeping a pet lizard. You want to be a lizard person, but you're completely risk adverse, and the idea of getting bit by an animal absolutely terrifies you. Perhaps you want to breed reptiles, but your entire personality doesn't revolve around breeding that specific species of reptile, so breeding ball pythons isn't for you. So you pick the next least profitable animal to breed for new reptile breeders. You are a leopard gecko keeper. There is a second type of leopard gecko keeper, the keeper that keeps 6 leopard geckos. If you keep 6 leopard geckos, you are too bald and short to get any sort of pseudo fame doing anything else, so you start a YouTube channel dedicated to entry-level information on 5 reptiles at a time. You love 4x2x2 enclosures and calling people dweebs on TikTok, and you got way too out of shape to make shirtless pickle reels anymore, so instead, you married a 6-foot-tall, beautiful woman to reach the reptile supplies on the top shelf because you can't do it for yourself. Emerald tree boas are some of the coolest animals on the planet, but the keepers that keep them sometimes probably aren't. Emerald tree boa owners come in 2 varieties, the type that like making pretty enclosures and watching their angry noodles sit still all day long and then wander aimlessly around a box all night like a lazy warehouse worker on night shift. The other type of ETB owner likes to handle the most challenging snakes, is a total badass, and doesn't mind bleeding a whole lot. Kenyan sand boas are a very unique type of boa, and the owners who keep them love watching their Kenyan sand boa in the same way that all of us love watching Olympic speed walking. We don't, and nobody does. Kenyan sand boas are like that kid in 1st grade who keep hiding way after the game of hide and seek is over. Nobody's looking for you, but giving up is for cowards. Kenyan sand boa owners thought that they wanted a pet snake, but what they really wanted to do is explain why they have a dirt pile in a glass box on their kitchen counter to everybody who comes over and inquires about what's going on in the corner of the room. If you have a green iguana, one of the big ones, I assume that you were a kid in the 1990s who loved walking around the pet shops and looking at these really cool baby iguanas that cost next to nothing. But your parents wouldn't let you take them home because they realized they didn't want a 5-foot angry vegan in their house that eats them out of house and home and probably is going to bite you someday. But now you're all grown up, you live on your own, you have your own big boy house, and you need to make your own bad decisions from learning from them. You do not like to watch what other people did and take lessons from them. You're not a great decision maker, and people telling you "I told you so" really doesn't bother you that much. If you have an African fat-tailed gecko, you wanted a really cool leopard gecko that just didn't look really cool, and you love starting sentences with "well, actually," when you explain to your friends, "well, actually, that's not a leopard gecko, it's a completely different species, blah, 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 blah." Reticulated python owners, you guys just love chaos. I have no joke for this. There is nothing funny. You like high food drives and craziness and animals that don't sit still at all, and maybe you're gonna get bit, but probably not, but also maybe someday eventually, and it's gonna hurt real bad. If you're a spotted python owner or maybe a children's python, you just have really good taste. You realize that owning a snake doesn't have to be a chore. You don't have to worry about getting bit all the time just for the simple pleasure of owning a slithery serpent, and you realize that arboreal snakes are more fun, especially the ones that don't want to be grumpy all the time. If you own a boa constrictor, you want to seem like a 1980s badass, but you're not committed enough to having a mullet. Boa constrictors were really popular 40 years ago, and they still are today. Plus, you like feeding rabbits because feeding your snake every 6 weeks is better than feeding it every week. Plus, you have other stuff to do, like comb your mustache and drive IROCs, or whatever 1980s people do. Ask Dave Kaufman, he'll tell you. And Fiji banded iguanas say, well, you live in the UK or Canada or somewhere that isn't the US, and that's the only flex you have on that magnificent country, so you show them every chance that you get. Let me know in the comments section below what your reptile says about you or what mine says about me. As always, thanks for hitting like and subscribe. And as always, the Patreon supporters. You guys get videos early, discounts on merch, you guys get one-on-ones, all that for as little as $1 a month, and that's it. I do videos twice a week, so I'll see you in the next one. Thanks for hitting like and subscribe. And as always, the Patreon supporters. You guys get videos early, discounts on merch, you guys get one-on-ones, all that for as little as $1 a month, and that's it. I do videos twice a week, so I'll see you in the next one.